Hello friends, and welcome to History in Decades. I'm Jim Rand, your AI host, here to guide you through the pivotal 10-year chapters that shaped our world. As the old saying goes, those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And today we'll see why that warning still matters. We're stepping back into the opening decade of the 18th century, the years 1700 through 1710. Let's walk through this turbulent time together by focusing on the three biggest developments that mattered most for the future of what would become the United States. First, the global power struggle that would shape everything else. In November of 1700, Spain's King Charles II died without an heir. His enormous empire became the ultimate prize. When it passed to a grandson of France's Louis XIV, other nations formed the Grand Alliance to stop French dominance. This sparked the War of the Spanish Succession, a conflict that spilled across Europe and into the colonies. Its roots went back to earlier rivalries, and its outcome would help determine which European powers would dominate North America in the decades ahead. Second, the war came home to the American colonies. There was no United States yet. This was still British, French, and Spanish colonial territory, about 70 years before the Declaration of Independence. In North America, the conflict was called Queen Anne's War. In the southeast, Carolina forces under Governor James Moore raided Spanish Florida. In the northeast, French and native allies launched raids on English settlements, including the brutal 1704 Deerfield Massacre in Massachusetts. Colonial militia fought back hard. By 1710, the British captured Port Royal in Acadia, which is present-day Nova Scotia. This was a victory that strengthened their hold in the northeast and would later become Nova Scotia. These frontier fights tested the resilience of settlers who relied on faith, community, and determination to build new lives. Georgia didn't exist yet. It would be founded in 1732. Third, other major shifts were happening that would have long-term effects. In the Baltic, Russia under Peter the Great began its rise after defeating Sweden at Poltava in 1709. In Britain, the 1707 Acts of Union created the Kingdom of Great Britain, strengthening the nation that would eventually dominate much of North America. In Asia, China's Qing dynasty continued consolidating power, while the Atlantic slave trade remained a grim reality affecting colonial economies. Notable figures of the decade. Let's meet some of the people who stood out. Peter the Great drove Russia's rise. Britain's Duke of Marlborough delivered key victories in Europe. In the colonies, Benjamin Church led frontier raids, while governors Joseph Dudley and James Moore defended British interests. Among births, 1706 brought Benjamin Franklin into the world in Boston, a future founding father whose ideas would help shape the United States. By the end of the decade, exhaustion from war was setting in. These years redrew maps, checked dangerous ambitions, and taught a lasting lesson. Stability requires strength and vigilance. In the American colonies, the hard frontier experience was forging self-reliant people whose character would matter greatly when independence came 70 years later. Friends, the decade of 1700 to 1710 shows us that history moves through cycles of conflict and consolidation. Strong leadership, wise alliances, and the courage of ordinary families often determine the future. These events help set the stage for Britain's rise and the slow growth of American colonial society. Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Let's carry these lessons forward. If you're finding value in these episodes, please take a moment to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. It really helps the podcast grow. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who would appreciate learning from the past. That's how we build something meaningful together. I'm Jim Rand. Thanks for listening to History in Decades. Until next time, stay rooted in the lessons history provides.